I think we're in a two-stage process here in the economy. The first one, which started about a year ago, was the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve got concerned about an overheating economy. They were late to the party. They did not realize the big pickup in inflation that accompanied the reopening of the economy. They really thought that the supply side chain disruptions and the reopening frictions were going to be very temporary, and that goes back to the beginning of last year. So inflation leaped. Now that added to the Fed's problems because the Fed was already under suspicion. If you go back to previous chairman of the Fed, Alan Greenspan, he was famous for what was called the Greenspan put. This was a feeling in Wall Street that he could put the bad news to the Fed. In other words, the Fed would bail out Wall Street, put in the sense of puts and calls, using that analogy. Well, of course, then you had following him Ben Bernanke. You had the Bernanke put, and then Janet Yellen, the Yellen put. So you came up to Jay Powell, and everybody pretty much expected the same. So he was starting behind the eight ball. And then early last year, when inflation took off and the Fed was really not on top of it, it created a serious problem. And at that point, the Fed under Powell, in effect, said, enough is enough. And I think that's a very, very important point, and one that is only slowly being recognized by markets, and whether it's security markets or business, people just have not fully understood the Fed's commitment to bring down inflation. And they made it clear that they don't care what the consequences are, recession or not. And we very well may already be in a recession.